Electrical, Part 3 of 3. Here I'm showing using a 12-volt automotive test light on a battery I have in one of my grandkids' little electric Jeeps. This is a lawnmower battery I installed in this little Jeep. I had to install it in the rear instead of under the hood because of the size. But the original battery failed, and those little batteries, if you go to Walmart and buy them, they're like $60 for one of those batteries. This one was $20 for a lawnmower battery. So I'm getting a much larger battery that will hold a charge much longer and give much better service than that battery that is recommended for this. Now you see here I had to secure it with a strap, and it is fused. You'll see a fuse just to the left of the test light in the wire. Make sure to always fuse any wire close to the battery. It doesn't do any good if it's a distance away. And shown here is a little blade type automotive fuse put in line with this wire with terminals. This is a 30 amp fuse and could possibly keep my house from burning down if this little car shorted out.
When you have continuity, that means you have a good connection. I have this meter set to the continuity setting, and this is what you'll hear. Also, you'll see the meter change. Now, when you have this meter set to ohms, you can also check continuity, because when you touch the two probes, you're going to get a reading. Just like that. No resistance. And you have different resistance settings. But this is just a quick way to test a light bulb that has a filament, or any wire from end to end, from terminal to terminal, to check for continuity. Here's how to strip the wire to get ready to make a connection. Just find the correct slot. This looks like 16 gauge, so I'm going to strip that off just like that. Twist it up good and tight. Then I'm going to strip this other end. 16 gauge is what it appears to be. Okay, then I smooth the wires up, twist them up good. Then I take them, twist them together like this, and that's ready to solder. This time I'm going to use my little vise. Just turn the gun on and apply the solder with the heat just a little bit. Move your gun around under the connection. Now you have a perfectly soldered wire. Now here I have a piece of shrink tubing that I'm going to put over this connection. You just slide it over it after the connection's cool. Now, all you do to that is hold a cigarette lighter or a match down below it and rotate your wire a little bit using a match at a distance. Hold it under your heat shrink tubing and just rotate it. See how it shrinks up around that connection? That's great. To install a ring terminal, I'm going to strip this wire. I'm going to strip it again, and I'll tell you why. This ring terminal I have is not the proper one, so I'm going to show you how to use a ring terminal on a wire that's actually smaller than the terminal hole. Just double the wire over. Then when you crip it, put your crippers on here like this, and you see how that is, and then you just crimp it like that. Now you have a good secure mechanical connection, and if you'd like, you could go ahead and heat this and apply solder to it too. Here's a continuity test of a light bulb. The filament in the light bulb has so much resistance that using the continuity setting doesn't give me a tone. But you can see the meter change. And that's all you need to know. You've got continuity. That is a good light bulb. You can use the ohm setting. The meter changes. You know you have a good bulb. A continuity test will work on any bulb, an incandescent bulb, be it automotive or one you use in your home, as long as it has a filament, as you see here. Sometimes you can see that the filament's burned in two. There's little supporting wires holding this filament up. But a continuity test will not work on mercury arc lamps or fluorescent lamps. A fully charged automotive battery, when the engine's not running, a 12-volt battery, should read over 12 volts. Here you see I'm reading 12.19. Now, when I crank this engine up, you can see my charging system is working because I'm getting a little over 14 volts, 14 and 3/4 volts. So that's just a quick test to make sure that your charging system is working.
That was hard to hear with the engine running, so I'm going to repeat this. I was reading a little over 12 volts before I cranked the engine. When I cranked the engine, it went to 14 and 3/4 volts. So I know that the charging system is working. Now, how well, as far as amps and all, you'd have to do a better test than this. But this does show that the alternator is charging and that the battery's fully charged. The theme from A Summer Place was used in this final clip, but I'm not allowed to use it. Just want to wish you well and hope you enjoyed this little self-help video. If I can do it, anybody can. This beautiful sunrise photo was taken at the Isle of Palms near Charleston, South Carolina in the year 2010. May God bless you and your family.